Speaking to Fox News, the founder of the National Security Institute claimed it was time Russia and Iran paid the price of supporting Syrian President Assad's regime following a series of US, UK, French military strikes aimed at the Syrian government forces on Saturday. Mr. Jaffer, a former advisor to US President George W. Bush, argued the Assad regime in Syria would not exist if it was not for the support of Vladimir Putin, claiming the Russian president was also to blame for the deadly civil conflict. Asked what U.S. President Donald Trump's next step against the regime should be, he replied, "I think the big thing is we've got to be prepared to take more action if this behavior continues on the part of the Syrians. I think we actually have to penalize Russia and Iran for their support of Syria." Getty Fox Syria News. Former White House counsel warns Russia and Iran will be punished over Syria at the end of the day. The Assad regime doesn't survive if the Russians and Iranians don't back him. So we've got to take the fight to the Russians and the Iranians. They still haven't paid no real price for this support. And we've got exact surprises for them too. Russia has requested a UN Security Council meeting over the recent airstrikes which targeted 3 chemical weapons research and production facilities in Syria during the early hours of Saturday. Mr. Jaffer claimed that as Russia is one of the 5 Union countries with a power of veto, the Security Council should be prepared for any further action against the Assad regime to be voted against by Vladimir Putin. He said, "This is one of the challenges for the Union. You have 5 permanent members, each one of them has a veto. I think we actually have to penalize Russia and Iran for their support of Syria." Jamal Jaffer: "It includes us, but it also includes Russia, so Russia can veto any action of the Security Council and have pretty much indicated they would do so if the Security Council starts to act against Assad. We'll see what happens. I think there's no reason not to try once again and put this before the Security Council and make it clear that Russia is the problem here. Because the reality is, as the president said forthrightly to the American people, Russia and Iran are part of the problem and they need to behave appropriately here." Following the joint attack in Damascus against the Assad regime, Russia's ambassador warned that there will be consequences for the US-led military strikes on Syria, adding that it was unacceptable to insult Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russian Ambassador Anatoly Antonov wrote on Twitter, "A pre-designed scenario is being implemented. Again, we are being threatened. We warn that such actions will not be left without consequences. All responsibility for them rests with Washington, London, and Paris. Insulting the president of Russia is unacceptable and inadmissible," Russia's Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova wrote on Facebook. "First the Arab Spring tested the Syrian people, then Islamic State, now smart American rockets. The capital of a sovereign government, trying for years to survive under terrorist aggression, has been attacked. You have to be quite abnormal to attack Syria's capital just at the moment when it had a chance for a peaceful future."